Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, January 13th, 2023. I'm Giovanni Betancourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets and TGIF. Well, the market rally is at the mercy of earnings season. The market moving catalysts are coming thick and fast. The latest US inflation data have quickly been usurped by the start of the earnings seasons as the primary factor grabbing the attention of investors. Things have been looking up for the stock market lately. The technology heavy Nasdaq index has had a particularly good start of 2023, climbing 5% since the turn of the year. The index notched its fifth consecutive day of gains yesterday, its longest winning streak since July. It was helped by US inflation falling for a sixth straight month to 6.5%, the slowest pace in more than a year. That points to the Federal Reserve slowing the pace of hikes to a quarter point rise in February, which in turn is good for stocks in general, but especially for high growth ones. However, in the current landscape, the potential pitfalls are never very far away. Enter earnings season, which kicks off today with some of the country's biggest banks and will accelerate over the next few weeks. Bank earnings are a key indicator of the health of the broader economy, and the rest of the S&P 500 will fill in the gaps over the next month. Now, an earnings slump is broadly expected. In aggregate, S&P 500 companies are likely to report their first earnings decline in the fourth quarter since 2020, according to estimates. The key question for markets is just how bad they will be. Expectations are pretty low, which implies room for upside surprise along the way. So with that being said, let's take a look at what the Nasdaq is actually doing today. We had the 11,500 mark previously as a support. Okay, I am actually putting, rather than using the that mark, which is now resistance, I'm gonna just leave the 11,600 as my resistance. I'm using 11,200 as my support, thinking that the market most likely will trade lower today. A lot of this lower trading has been because Bank of America did revisit their estimates for earnings, and they are shy. And also, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Mr. Jamie Dimon, had come out and given some negative statements about, obviously, their earnings. So markets are actually in a sell-off right now. We have had a pretty good week in the indices. It is time for to take some profits, most likely also. So on the back foot of the earnings season, and obviously of some banks reporting today, more banks reporting today. Obviously, we're seeing this happen, this effect occurring right now. So we're going to be seeing some red in all of the indices right now. This is the S&P 500. It's trading obviously also lower, profit taking. That Dow Jones Industrial also trading lower, profit taking. Also, the Russell 2000 is obviously on a tear to the downside. 1850 is my support. Profit taking. With expecting that obviously the reports today from some of the banks would not be that gloomy. As far as the crude oil goes, crude oil is continuing to push higher. We need to come out and take out this previous high to reiterate that upward momentum. RSI is really right in the middle of it, pointing towards that upward momentum. $80 is my resistance. Perhaps we could probably come in and reach 79.50. Let's see what happens. This is Nat Gas. I was talking about Nat Gas from the beginning of the week, that we would probably see a narrow trading in Nat Gas between 350 and a 425 channel, and that's what basically what's happening. If we do come down to 350, will we find support? Will we find buyers? RSI is just about being entering the oversold territory. Then we have gold. Gold is right now kissing that 1900 psychological resistance level. So will we trade above it? We are, however, in overbought territory with the RSI. So let's see if we find some sellers here and take some profits and take some money off the table. It is Friday, so 1920 could be a nice resistance for it. Let's see what will happen. Copper is also just returning, or just doing a nice pullback. This pullback can be set in a setup for a continuation to the upside. One particular tool that we can come and calculate, measure if that's the case, if we're gonna have an extension of that rally, can't be miss the Fibonacci trend-based fib extension, where we come in and use this low, this high, right, and the low of that candle, or the same, to see where the market can actually take us if we are going to actually extend this rally, where we use the Fibonacci extensions numbers to come in and take a look at it. So first we have to obviously come and see if this previous low will be respected. It's right around the 4100 marker. But if the market decides to continue its rally, then obviously we want to come up to at least the 0.38%. The Fibonacci extension golden ratio is 0.618. So that could be, this will be obviously levels of resistance for the asset, for copper, if it continues to move to the upside. Okay, that's one way that we can come in and find those levels. Alrighty, so that's for copper. Now let's take a look at what the euro is doing. The euro did trade above 108, 108 and above, really almost touching 109, but it has retraced from there. I'm using 107 as my support. Let's see if that will hold. The same token goes for the pound, and let's see why. Because Mr. Dollar Index did trade below 102. It found some support right around 101.9, and it has rallied back up. I'm suggesting that the dollar index will stay above 102, doing some sort of a ranging, just consolidation around this level for the remainder of the day. And that being said, most likely gold will stay around that 1900 level if that's the case, as well as for copper if that's the case. But if the dollar index does make up a pop to 103, then we will see a pullback on gold, on copper, and silver, perhaps also on crude oil. But if the dollar index decides to come and test this support of 101, okay, 115, then we'll probably see gold trading above 1900, copper trading back up to 420, and crude oil back above 79 towards that 80 resistance level that I had. All right, these are my levels for today. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you again on Monday.